the mother, when we see the child suffering from malnutrition, the mother is wearing very thick glove. What? From gold. So it's not the matter of poverty, yeah, but it's matter of mindset. And I asked, where's the father? They said the father's outside. I go outside and I saw the father smoking. And you know what is the cigarette? Jisamsu. It was expensive one. So the mother wearing very thick gold bracelet, and the father is a very dedicated smoker. So what happened to our people? That's why we in West Nusa Tenggara we have a conclusion that it's not about money, it's not about building infrastructure. It is about how to change people mindset, and that's why we are cooperating with all stakeholders, especially cultural stakeholders, informal leaders and tuan guru, para pegiat perempuan, and many others. The second illustration, the last illustration, is about pernikahan dini. What is in English pernikahan dini? Early marriage. It is very funny in Indonesia. I can tell you, aliens. We have two rules, undang-undang, contradicting each other, one another. First, we have undang-undang perkawinan. It says that everyone can marry if she has 17 years old. So if someone married when he is 17, it is legal. But we have another regulation. We call it Undang-Undang Perlindungan Anak. Describe anak as someone until 18. Can you imagine? So from Undang-Undang Perlindungan Anak, 17 is still a child. But from Undang-Undang Perkawinan perspective, it is legal. So our country consider it is legal to for a child to marriage. What we do in West Nusa Tenggara, we talk to our friends, we discuss, and then we ajukan judicial review to Mahkamah Konstitusi. We ask the limit of marriage should be 21. 18 is third year of junior high school. 18. Even 20, it's still in university. So 17 is too young, 18 is still. And so we ask, kita ajukan to Mahkamah Konstitusi to change the regulation. Unfortunately, Mahkamah Konstitusi rejected. This is the duty of Mr. Budiman. Don't talk about everyday politics, Pak Budiman. You should talk about health issues. It's very important. Jadi those two illustrations shows that it is very important to change the mindset of people, and that's what we are working now. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the answer. So I think Pak Gubernur just brought up a very important factor, that is, although it's important to increase the facilities and everything, sometimes the main problem is the mindset of the people, and the government has the responsibility to address that, and that's what you're doing in your province, so that's wonderful. So now I'm going to give one general question to everybody, but I will take only short answers if you don't mind, so that we have more time for the audience to ask you some questions. My question is, so what I've been asking is, the title of this panel is How to Best Prepare the Indonesian Generation. And what I've been asking to all of you is how business can help, how the government can help. So now my question is, how do you think us as young people ourselves should help ourselves or should help each other in preparing for this phenomenon so that we can succeed later on when we grow up older, become 30 years old, 40 years old, we can have meaningful careers. So if I have to repeat, my question is, how can us as young generation help ourselves to, or what do we need to do to prepare ourselves for this phenomenon? So maybe I will start with David Johnson.
Thanks very much. I think I'm going to perhaps stick with my theme of the orchestra and the collective distribution of knowledge, and just to say that I think it would be a mistake for young people, and particularly this happens in many countries I work in, is that they look outward to other worlds and ask themselves, how can I, as an individual, attain the benefits as is visible in other worlds, but don't actually look inward to their peers and their own contemporaries. And the importance of this point is, I think this, all of you are students, and I think many of you are studying different disciplines and different subjects, but I think the age of the single subject, the single discipline, the individual knowledge, the individual skill, has to give way to the notion of interdisciplinarity, a way of thinking about problems, both known and unknown, in a more collective way. So just to give you an example of some universities in the UK that are stealing the march in this direction, it's clear that at its core, the notion of a discipline is intact, but it is searching for what is it that might bind those disciplines together. Some universities now are, for example, offering degrees such as philosophy and innovation, engineering and innovation, psychology and innovation, sociology and innovation. And the binding idea is it is innovation that brings together a set of different disciplinary thinkings, but that it is this idea that allows us to think collectively of how to solve not problems that we sort of construct in a laboratory, the idea of collective working on a project, but it is to engage with the project of poverty from the discipline of engineering and political science and philosophy and neurosciences, is to think collectively and innovatively about how real world challenges, both known and unknown, can be dealt with. So my advice, look to your left, look to your right, look to the collective intelligence that is distributed amongst you. Think of Indonesia and think of how collectively you engage with the challenges of your country now and in the future.
I stick to what I know and then what I said before. So I'll go into more individual because I think leadership, being a good leader at the end of the day, is to lead yourself, right? So lead yourself to become different. Lead yourself to think, and appreciate people thinking from a different perspective. Don't spend your time doing want to do something similar like your senior or similar like your predecessor before. Start to think differently. Probably with that you can become more creative because you will have a lot of ideas with that. Now, don't wait for a Palu to start your meeting, for example, right? So, you know, a lot of things that you can do like that. Is it related?
Coincidentally.
Okay. No, I mean, again, my advice probably is again, lead yourself. Start thinking, you know, that you will change. If you become a change agent wherever you are, you will make a change. Thanks.
In my opinion, I think for our young people, Indonesian young people, it is very important to be optimistic. Always be optimistic. In Pancasila, the first sila is Ketuhanan Yang Maha Esa. So we are believer. Me as Muslim, in Al-Quran, there are more than 3,000 ayat, verses. Not even single verses describe believers as pessimistic. Always optimistic. So you have to be optimistic. And second, you young people of Indonesia, you are very fortunate. You are very lucky to have an opportunity to study abroad in UK and other countries. Please, beside you learn, you absorb the knowledge. We need you to absorb good values. We as a human, we are always in competition. We realize or we don't realize. We in Indonesia, we need a good competition because most of the competition in Indonesia is not good now. It's very toxic. It's not Budiman sejak me of that, especially in politics. So it doesn't matter you, as long as you can get your aim instantly, it's good. But it's not good for our nation, for long term of our nation Indonesia. So please, you back to Indonesia and bring with you good values for good competition. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum.
So those are the messages for all of us, Indonesian young generation, from our panelists. I hope we learn from those messages and we can really prepare ourselves well. So I'll open, I haven't opened it yet.